We all tend to stick to things that we are good at because it gives us that reassurance, validation, feel good vibe that makes us pursue that thing even more. But what happens when you really want to try and do something that you're not so good at? That is when you step outside of your comfort zone and witness the unexpected growth. As you can see in the video here, I went surfing for the first time in April, and what happened then? Well, I realized that I am not a natural surfer and that it's gonna take some time for me to pick this new skill up if I want to pursue it in any way. If you're thinking about starting a new hobby, pursuing something that you maybe are not naturally inclined to do or you haven't done before, then this video is for you because I'm gonna share with you part of my journey and what I've learned when I stepped outside of my comfort zone when it comes to my hobbies. Something that I've learned in the previous week of doing surfing for 7 days is that new hobbies help you establish new routines. I am one of those people who's known to be a night owl, and my brain switches on when the rest of the world shuts down. That's when I think clearly. That's where I feel like I have the peace to just immerse myself in whatever it is that I want to do without feeling distracted by everything that I'm kind of missing out on if I'm in my room or if I'm just with my thoughts. But while I was at the surf camp, I didn't really have a choice. I needed to wake up at 7 for my surf lesson at 8 so I can have some breakfast, and this has happened throughout the whole week. And this also resulted in me going to bed really early at 10 p.m. And all of this made me understand that it doesn't matter if you're a night owl or an early bird or anything in between. If you really want to do something and you're committed to your new hobby, then you're going to experience a different routine and you're going to stick with it because your commitment to doing it is bigger than any other pattern that maybe you've established. So I'm going to try and keep this habit alive while I'm back in London and not surfing. The second thing that my surfing adventure has taught me so far is that it is fine to not be good at something. I used to get a lot of adrenaline rush for being top of my class, overperforming at work, doing so many different things, and I still enjoy elements of it. But on the other side of that spectrum lies comfort and understanding that if you are not good at something, then there's only one way, and that is up. So with practice, you can only get better. Second day of surfing lessons is going not so well. So while I'm still not good at surfing, I can see the progress from the first time when I stepped into the water with my board to, last time that I surfed, which was yesterday, and when I managed to catch some waves on my own, when I was more confident. And every single time I do more surfing, I will feel more confident, but it is a journey. Which brings me to my third point, which is everyone has their own pace on that journey, and it is a little bit unnecessary to compare yourself to other people. This is because when taking up a new hobby, you don't know what the circumstances of people surrounding you are. In my case, when it comes to surfing, a lot of people have done maybe similar sports, or maybe they have done more of just physical activity that makes their body more adaptable to this new form of using it. And I'm not a particularly athletic person. I do work out and do things, but I never used my body in the way that surfing requires me to. So it just became very early apparent that all of us in the group that we were surfing together had quite different backgrounds, and that has definitely impacted the way in which we adopted this new skill. And I just cannot compare myself to people who have completely different backgrounds to me because our skill sets are completely different. And I think when I became aware of that, while that inner high achiever in me was just trying to understand how can I get better, why am I not as good as this person, at the same time there was so much comfort in understanding that it is just fine because everyone in the group had quite a different journey to learning how to surf, and my journey is equally valid, and if it's slower than the rest of the group, so be it. Third day of surfing. Don't know how that's gonna go, but we're ready wetsuit on. I'm sure you've heard this one before, but it is extremely relevant when it comes to pursuing new hobbies, and that is practice makes perfect. If you try and do something for the first time and it doesn't work out the way that you imagined it, it's not because you're not naturally talented to do something or because simply you should give up. It is because of the fact that the more you do something, the more you understand the skill required for that new hobby, you will naturally get better and you will progress. But a lot of us have that issue that when we step outside of our comfort zone, we're greeted with this uncomfortable feeling of all thoughts and self-doubts just like firing at us, and it is just fine to like push them away and be like, okay, I'm gonna take one class, I'm gonna see how I get on, and if I enjoy this, I'm gonna take another class and see if I can improve. Is there anything else that I can do? Also, you need to give yourself a period of time to get to understand how you are swimming in the ocean of this new hobby that you're trying to explore. And I think that all of us have that gut feeling that helps us understand, do we actually like this? Do we get fulfillment from this? Or are we just like trying to do this so we are not giving up on it? And if it's bringing you enough joy and enjoyment, then it is worth pursuing and it is worth exploring ways in which you can get better at it. I think that hobbies help us reconnect with ourselves, and we're constantly changing and evolving, and it is normal that our hobbies take different shapes and we switch it up and try something new, and that is the way that we can keep that side of us alive and constantly satisfied. The best part about starting surfing and stepping outside of my comfort zone is that I started thinking about destinations in a new way, and I started thinking about exploring new places because of the fact that I can surf there. And now my holidays and the way that I plan my trips are kind of dictated by it, because I do want to keep this passion alive and I want to keep getting better at it. And this also leads me to a completely new community that I haven't been exposed to previously, and new people who come from completely different backgrounds compared to maybe my friends. And all of this really helps me grow as a person and feel fulfilled, which is something that I highly recommend to you if you're thinking of starting a new hobby. During my past week in Portugal, not only that I've surfed some of the most wonderful waves, but I've also tasted delicious wine from the vineyard in Portugal near Lisbon, and I've done some sunrise yoga, I've tried some new food, and I went for walks. They were just absolutely mesmerizing, and also discovered some new towns. And all of this is because I've decided to pursue surfing as something that is more than just a one-off thing that I'm not good at, but rather a hobby or a passion that I want to keep exploring and keep getting better at. Making time for your hobbies is a hard one. So if you are thinking about starting a new one, but you don't know how to carve out that time, maybe check out this video, because I'm sharing all of the thoughts that I have on that topic. And also, if you feel embarrassed maybe to start something that you don't know if you're good at, this video can help. So what is that new hobby that you're thinking about? Let me know in the comments below.